landlubbers, it's me, your Captain Vasco speaking. Hi. Hello. Um, a week ago, I was having something of a near mental breakdown and pretty much spent an entire stream just ranting that I haven't posted to YouTube yet. I think I will still probably post it unlisted at some point for regulars to access if they want context about the house journey and all that. At the start of that stream, I was like, you know what? Maybe we'll play Dorfromantik today. We didn't. Spoiler alert. Just in case I somehow mislead you by copy pasting some weird timestamps where normally game goes. There's no game. Unlike the game, there is no game, which is arguably a game despite its title. But yeah, Demolition was alluding to something I tweeted about earlier in the week, and I was like, yeah, I might as well complain about that among other things. So, I think like 2 years ago, maybe three, like randomly one day, like a French news outlet reported on a Magic the Gathering Marvel crossover happening in 2024. And the thing is, like, that information was like not supposed to go public, but it was like pretty high profile, and everyone's like, oh, that's kind of a big deal. But it's like been a long time, and like no information came out until like a month or two ago, something like that. And they're like, oh, we're so excited to announce a Magic the Gathering secret lair, which I've probably talked about a little bit in the past, but for those of you who aren't super dialed in to Magic the Gathering, despite it being a central hobby of mine, secret lairs are when the company that makes Magic cards sells direct to the consumer instead of like sending something out to various storefronts and Amazons and whatnot. And the idea is that they have historically tended to be mostly sort of like alternate art treatments of like existing cards. There have been a few instances where they were like a brand new design of something or other, and they were usually like a tie-in to, you know, something like the Doctor Who themed pre-constructed decks or Fallout or something like that. But like for the most part, they've just sort of been like alternate art, like, oh, like wouldn't it be nice to have those? But it's not like a big deal if you can't get them in the scheme of things because it's just sort of like a really nice looking version of the card. And then recently they made an announcement that they were like increasing the number of sets they were releasing every year, which is genuinely insane because for years, all like anyone in the community has said is like, if I had a single complaint, it's that there are too many sets, that we're doing too many things. No one can keep up with the cards. People who like literally professionally do nothing but like analyze and talk about Magic cards like can't remotely comprehend the number of Magic cards being released. It's kind of preposterous. And I'm fairly certain within the last 2 years they even like publicly stated like, yep, we definitely understand. We have plans in place. We have ideas on how to cut back on that without, you know, cutting back on the cool ideas for things we have or something to that effect. And then like a few months ago, they're like, so now we're adding like 50% more sets per year, and half of all sets are now going to be what they call universes beyond, which is the umbrella term for when they started including intellectual properties that they did not own, such as Doctor Who and Fallout and Marvel, as mentioned previously. Around the same time they made that announcement, they're like, but it's finally time to talk about Marvel. And so they unveiled like a bunch of secret layers, a series of them for popular Marvel characters. There's like a Captain America and Iron Man, Storm from the X-Men, Black Panther, a few others. And they had kind of an interesting way of going about it. Each one of the characters was a brand new unique card designed to like match the powers and the characters from the comic books and movies and things. But then they were supported with like a series of sort of like thematic cards that were reprints. So basically like existing Magic cards that got like fun Marvel art. So they kind of split the difference there in a way that wasn't terrible. But they've been pushing towards this new business model where originally Secret Lair was print on demand. And this was like a really key part of what kept people from being upset about it. But over the last like year or so, they've been trying to push towards like, these really limited supply things. And then they go through this like god awful portal system online that like usually favors like scalpers and bots and AI and like punishes like people who actually just like want the nice cards, like the actual like fans of the game. And it's been like a pretty rough move and it's very unpopular, but I honestly don't even understand how this benefits them financially. Like I want to say something cynical, but like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like it's not like the scalper bots are paying more. There's like a flat rate. Like we can't come up with some way to like let actual people buy it. I mean, I know this is just like a problem of our time with like the PS5 and all that stuff, but like seriously, like no one's working on that. We're all just making Bitcoin. I digress. So, it was gonna be like a cluster bomb of like these were really highly sought after cards. Like I can't tell you how many people posted about like Iron Man and Storm in particular. Like people are like really excited about these. Obviously Marvel's big. For many years like all of the highest grossing movies were Marvel movies, and there are many reasons for that, but among them these characters are really popular. So like when this announcement came up, there are definitely many people who wanted to get them. And this is one of those things that they're like, yeah, limited supply, get wrecked, you guys suck. Screw you idiots. Why do you like our game? How do you like my time, Mario? And earlier this week, I think it was just Monday. God, I think it was Monday of this week. What a bad week. The sale happened, and it's from every indication I could tell, it's like the worst product rollout for Wizards of the Coast since the Ravnica Mythic Edition. Like, God, what was that, like 8 years ago, 7 years ago? It was a while ago now. I was one of the lucky few who got through on that. But like, to be honest, with the competition being what it was, and like my enthusiasm not rivaling that of like other people online, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave this to those folks. I'm not gonna try and like cut in on like, even if I get lucky the way I have many times in the past, like I just don't think it's like worth the trouble for me to get something I'm lukewarm about that like other people are gonna be like crazy excited about. Like hopefully that pays it forward or something. But then the other day, people started getting shipments of their secret layers, the people who actually managed to get through, and started revealing that each one of these Marvel sets had like secret Groot cards in them, like ones that weren't advertised. And they've done like secret cards in the past, but again, those are typically some kind of reprint or like a special treatment on one of the cards that's already in the set. There have definitely been times when it's been something unique, but like it's pretty rare that it's something that like could have been the source of like its own dedicated set of thing that people would want to buy into. But like I think they've confirmed at least 5 unique like Groot art cards and just didn't say anything about it. So like you get a Captain America, there's like a Groot themed card in there, and etc. etc. This makes me super upset because like if there was a Groot secret layer, I would have at least tried. I could have had a chance at getting the Groot cards, but like they thought they were being super clever and like I don't know. I guess people like Groot, but no one likes Groot or something. I don't know. I don't know what the reasoning is. I don't understand it at all. But it makes me really mad because like, well, now like all I can do is go on the secondary market, And like there's probably gonna be a bunch of people trying to go after those, and they already have like a limited supply. Like it sucks. Let's talk of Groot. Makes me want to imagine 5 versions of Groot in Marvel Strike Force. Give it enough time, they'll figure it out. I don't know. That's probably not even true. I mean, the Guardians of the Galaxy in Marvel Strike Force were like some of the earliest characters. Like I remember when that game first came out, that was like their featured character was Groot. They're like, you know, make an account today, and uh, like you'll get like 2-star Groot because like back in the day that like meant something. Well, it's not that I didn't find out in time. That suggests that like research could have been done. They literally like they didn't outright lie about it, but like they did not provide that information. The only way for me to know that is like insider trading. Like that's the thing that makes it so annoying. Like it would suck to be one of the many people who like didn't get the one they want, but like I didn't even have a shot because they like withheld that information. It's just dumb. Um but yeah, continuing the point about Marvel Strike Force, the game my sister formerly worked for, and now she is the creative director for Pokemon trading card game Live, the app. Um, in that game, like Groot was like their featured character in like 2018, and I feel like they haven't updated him since. He's genuinely one of the worst characters in the game. He's awful. More we had anti-bot stuff in place, people figure out how to get by them. Devs just figure out countermeasures to be broken eventually. I mean, sure, but like, I mean, it just begs the question, like, why is it necessary to do this in this way that's like so obviously terrible for like the consumers? And like not even that. Like I said, I just like I don't understand how it benefits the company either. Like it just doesn't it feels like it is a choice that solely hurts their customer base and doesn't do any additional benefit for them. Like they've just chosen violence. No, my sister sent me some message that day being like, I know people in card games, I'll see if I can pull some strings. And like that's nice of her and all, but like also like that shouldn't have to be done. And also, I mean, she knows people, but like also it's insanely hard to get this stuff. Like everyone wants this stuff. Like it shouldn't have to come down to something like that. Yeah, my sister is definitely an A+ sister. The company's still getting paid because the scalpers are paying for the product. Sure. But you know what happens if consumers buy the product? They make the same amount of money. Scalpers aren't paying extra. They're paying the same. Wizards isn't making any money off the secondary market unless they're selling them to their own scalper bots, which feels like that's like actually legitimately insider trading. I realized I had to say that quiet part out loud, or my mom would start looking on eBay because my mom is also an A+ mom, but that's not what we're doing here. So I just needed to put that asterisk out there. Um, but yeah, it's just very frustrating. And to be clear, it's like not remotely the most important thing going on, but Demolition happened to mention the tweet, and it's among the many things that are bad. And it's just frustrating because like I mean, I maintain that it just doesn't make any sense. No, but like, I feel like you're completely missing my point here, anime, which is like, I'm in no way am I trying to say that the company is not maximizing its profits or that this choice maximize. Like, my point is simply like, it, they make the same amount of profit if they don't be awful. Like if they find some method of distribution that doesn't feed directly into scalpers, they still make the exact same amount of money. Like I'm not saying they should like give them away or something, but like there is a fixed rate. It's not like It's not starting on eBay where like people will like haggle for them. There's a fixed cost for the product that they sell directly, and they're just like, let's use the system that favors scalpers. Might cost them more to find a solution, but you know what it does for them is like gets them goodwill and not like the entire fan base mad at them when they do these things, which is happening increasingly often. No, the cat can't be out of the bag because my sister's already working on it. You can't also that doesn't that's nothing. You can't do that. Um Anyway, yeah, how is anyone and everyone? Demolition, understood that you are also bad. Anime, how are you doing? But this shirt felt appropriate today because all the Groots on it are mad, and because there's Groot news. And yeah, the table is the mood. This was a very deliberate decision. I mean, there's some like friends in the back, but I gotta tell you, it's the table that's doing the heavy lifting. Walked all week, done any duo, etc. Yeah, I think that's entirely fair and valid. I've not gotten as much exercise as I want. Um, so leading up to Hurricane Milton, to go back a minute, it's like almost exactly a month ago that Hurricane Milton came through, and like the I think it was the Monday after that, we were scheduled. I had a contractor scheduled to come to my house to like upgrade the electrical panel, hook up something that the roofers replaced, like a ventilation fan to like help the overall like cooling system for the house, and to change a plug in the garage so that the dryer that my parents brought from California for me to take secondhand instead of buying a new washer dryer, so it could work, because the plug that started there was a weird shape, and it was a different weird shape from the outlet, or the outlet was different from the dryer. It's fine. Um, but so part of that process was that they needed the electrical company to shut off the power to the house to to be able to do that work, because it involved a lot of like managing electrical systems that could not be on and should not have the potential to accidentally turn on. And so immediately after Milton, power was out for several days. And so they were like, yeah, we can't like spare inspectors to be doing that sort of thing. Like, we're trying to get like power on to everywhere. So we have to reschedule you like a month later. And mind you, Cliff Notes version, we had like contacted these contractors like a month before that, in like mid early September or something like that, and they were like, yeah, if you like put this down payment and like sign the contract, we'll get you in like next week. And then they didn't, and then it got pushed to like most of a month later, and then through no fault of anyone's in particular, it got pushed a month later again. So that was rescheduled to yesterday. So I went over to my parents' house so I could work from there, where I had power and internet and things. Meanwhile, my mom stayed in my house, which had no air conditioning, and only like a generator that they provided to power the fridge so that the things in the fridge did not get wasted. Um, and I'll try to be brief here, because I don't really want to do another entirely talking stream necessarily. But so they had three jobs, right? They had to upgrade the wiring panel for like safety security reasons. They had to change a plug outlet in the garage, and they had to hook up the ventilation fan that's in the attic under the roof. They had consistently told us that all three things could be done in a day. It's very important that this was part of the estimate was they were like, yes, be done in 1 day. Promise, pinky swear for realsies. So it takes them like the entire day. I think they started work something like 8:20 or something. And then my mom left there at like almost 6. So like, a long day. And she reported back on how that went, and it won't surprise you to learn that it wasn't good. I wouldn't be telling the story if it was good. You know this. So basically, when they upgraded the panel, part of that work, they just like tore the siding off my house and like had absolutely no intent to replace it or even to cover it up so that like the like wood structure of the house was exposed to the elements in a state where it somewhat frequently rains, sometimes like not even as like forecasted. So like that's really heinous. They did change the outlet connector in the garage, but they changed it to some nonsense that didn't match the plug we told them to match. And they were like, well, you'll just get a new dryer, right? It's like, no. What? Like, if we were going to get a new dryer, we could have gotten a dryer that would have matched the outlet, you ding-dong. Like, what are you talking about? Why would we pay you money to do that? Why would we pay you money to do that? You idiot. Now, they did, as far as I'm able to tell, do the vent correctly day one. And they did upgrade the panel. They just, left a damaged, exposed external wall to the house. So if you want to be like really generous, you could say like 2 out of 3. But mind you, this is the recap from the end of day 1 out of 1 days. You may understand the dilemma. So they did send the same people didn't come back. They sent handymen to replace the cord on the dryer so that it matched the new plug that they put in, which was just a really stupid thing for them to have done. And then the Heyman actually did a really good job of patching up the external wall. That was genuinely quite impressive. I mean, I'm not entirely sure why that much damage or disruption needed to happen in the first place, but the fact that these people just like thought that without like getting our approval, like we should find it okay that they like left the house exposed to the elements is truly one of the most insane things I've experienced. And if you were here for the last stream, you heard me talk for like an hour and 45 minutes about my experience with the California DMV from 3,000 miles away. Funny thing about the California DMV, because if you were here, you know that we left last week where I was on like day 13 of please allow 2 weeks for important title paperwork to arrive, so that you can get your car registered in the state you live in. And Demolition knows from Discord, because he sent me a message being like, I hope it comes today. I'm like, I know that it didn't. It didn't show up on Saturday. On Monday morning, thankfully, I did get an email from the Postal Service being like, it's coming today. And it did actually show up, believe it or not. And because I had set my appointment to get my car title transferred to Florida like 2 weeks in advance and set some buffer room because everyone is terrible at their jobs, whatever they are, I was like, I'm going to leave some buffer time. So on Wednesday, I had the appointment. And I drove a half hour out to a title place that my parents used to get their cars transferred from California to Florida. And they had a pretty good experience there. So I go and I get there a few minutes early, and I only wait like a few minutes, like basically start my appointment on time. They, uh, in like the slowest, most confusing manner possible, this woman takes like the better part of a half hour to like print out 4 pieces of paper and have me like sign them and provide minor additional information like my phone number. But like I can't stress enough that like there wasn't a lot going on visibly or in any like discernible way while I was waiting for each additional piece of paper to come through. And you know what? That's fine. That's whatever. I mean, it's paperwork. It's the DMV. It's gonna suck a little bit, right? Like my appointment started on time. You know, she didn't have that many questions for me. I answered all of them. One of them was, when did I buy the car? I wasn't sure why she needed that, but you know, chain of custody or whatever. And so we go through signing all those pieces of paper. They've managed to print out a fresh license plate for me and a new registration for Florida, the state where I currently live. And we did it. That's what all this has been about for like over 2 months, was getting that registration, title, license plate. Hooray! Except obviously I'm not telling this story if that's all that happened. So I go outside and I take the old California license plates off my car and switch to the new one right away because I'm pretty excited to have this license plate that I've worked so unbelievably hard to obtain. So I go and, you know, like it takes me like something like 10 minutes just because like there's 2 license plates to take off and my car's a little dirty and I'm not trying to make a mess of myself or whatever. So I put the new license plate on. I go and sit in my car. I'm about to like start it up to drive home. And I noticed that at some point while I was doing that, I got a voicemail. Was it a paper license plate? No, they actually like printed out like a real license plate like while I was there. I mean, honestly, you could convince me that the weird stalling process for printing out those 4 sheets of paper is because they knew that like it was gonna take like a whole half hour to print out the license plate. I don't think that's literally true, but like, they just give you a license plate when you're there. I don't know how many states do that, but that seemed wild to me. No, it's like a metal. It's like a regular metal license plate. Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem, though. That voicemail that I mentioned, I was like right about to leave. It's like 10 minutes after I like got the license plate. I went outside. I put the new license plate on. I took the old license plate off. The voicemail is from the woman who did my whole process, and she's like, "Hey, this is Stacy from, it's not exactly the DMV. Stuff is operated strangely in Florida. It's some like weird car title company. It's weird. But like, it's Stacy from that place that you were just at. I put the wrong date on something and I need you to come back in." So luckily I hadn't left yet, but I can't stress that that's not great news. That feels bad to begin with. So I go back inside and I like approach her desk to try and see what's going on. And she's like, "Oh, good, you got my message." I'm like, "I did." And she's like, "Yeah, so like I put the wrong date on it. We gotta like print it out again." And I think is what she said. I think she said something more or less to the effect of like, "We have to print it out again." I'm like, "Well, that doesn't sound like a big deal." But like, you know, in that 10 minutes, she started working with like another customer. And at first she took my title paperwork back like right away. And it made me think that she was going to either like real quick, just like print up the new one and get me out of there, or that she was going to sort of like work on it while they were like waiting for their 4 pieces of paper to print out or whatever. Cause there's all that weird dead time where nothing seems to be happening. But no, actually what happens is she like takes the title paperwork away from me and then doesn't do anything. and she's like helping those other customers like just straight through to finish, which I understand, but you are the one who made the error that has caused me to waste more time. And also, if you're not going to help right away, I would kind of like for you not to take the title paperwork away, because I know you have no way of knowing this, but I have worked insanely hard to have a current title for my car. Like, no person should ever have to work this hard to have the paperwork as proof of ownership of the thing that they own. Like, it shouldn't work that way. So, she helps these people, and that's not the end of it either, because these people, I think it was like, I'm not 100% sure, it was like a slightly older guy and a woman whose age I couldn't quite tell, and it's possible they were like married with like a little bit of an age difference, or maybe she was his daughter, I don't know. But like they were there together. It kind of seemed like a familial transfer or something, you know, like sometimes like a family member will like sell a car to someone else for cheap. I think they might have been doing something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But the real crux of the matter is that like they were filling out some type of paperwork that I didn't do for my process. So I don't know exactly what it was. And like a little while after I approached and she took my title away, the guy says like, "Oh, I accidentally put my name in both of these places. Is that a problem?" And she says, "Yes." Like definitively yes. So she like prints out another one of whatever that is and has him start working on it again. And until they're done, she does not help me. So they reset the thing that they were doing, which was taking time to begin with. And then they reach a point where they filled it out a second entire time. And he presents it to her and she's like, "Oh, well, you made sort of a handwriting error here. That's not acceptable on this kind of paperwork." So she prints it out again, and then they have to fill it out for a third time while I'm standing there. And again, while that's happening, no progress is happening for me. So, you know, they get through that, and finally the third time is the charm, and there's a few more steps, but after the third time they fill out the paperwork, they're pretty close to done. They finally leave. So now it's my turn, and I'll remind you that when I approached, she said something to the effect of something like, "Well, we have to print it out again." And so I, you know, at this point I'm like, great. So let's get to printing it out then. And then like at some point her coworker indicated to her like, "Oh, you kind of have to like void the whole process." And I'm like, "What does that mean? You have to like run my card again?" Because there was like an exorbitant fee involved with this, by the way. Incidentally, it was just very expensive to do this. But like, no, apparently what that means is that we just have to do the entire process all over again. So the half-hour process starts again after I had to sit through those people filling out their paperwork 3 times. And it's exactly the same as the first time. One sheet of paper is printed out. I write my information. I write like 2 pieces of information on it. Several minutes pass. Another piece of paper is printed out. I write 3 pieces of information on it. Another piece of paper is printed out several minutes later. And this repeats like, you know, 2 more times. And, you know, we go through all these extremely slow printouts. And then she like finally gives me an updated title. And she gives me a new registration sticker to put on the license plate I just got with a brand new registration sticker on it. And she says to me, "Well, you gotta make sure that the decal number on the sticker on your license plate matches the decal number I'm handing you right now." And I'm like, "And if it's the same, I don't have to do anything?" "Yes." "And if it's not, I put this on the old one?" "Yes." It didn't match. Which it's like, the older I get, the more upset I am about matters of principle. This was really a matter of principle. I actually had a lot of bad experiences with the license plate stickers in California, specifically when I was working an unpaid internship in like a moderately sketchy area of like a little ways outside of downtown Los Angeles. Someone stole the registration sticker off my car, which I didn't notice immediately. And I got like several like parking violations because someone stole my sticker and because I was trying to work a job for exposure and couldn't really afford to like not show up to like go contest it with the police or whatever. So I happened to learn some tricks about how to avoid parking enforcement during that time. Ask me sometime. They're pretty straightforward if you find yourself in a situation like that. I imagine you could piece them together yourself, but yeah, so like I just don't like putting the stickers on my car because I feel like I'm always going to be responsible for it being in a position where it could be stolen again. Like like it's so stupid, but like I have enough genuine trauma from the sticker, the registration sticker on my California plate that like I was actually like specifically excited that she had put the sticker on the car or on the license plate before handing it to me. I was like actually like happy about that. It like actually like made me feel good inside that I didn't have to do that. And I still do. I only drove it like back to my house after that. I haven't like driven it really anywhere else. But I have to do it and it makes me mad. And it's not a big deal, but it makes me mad. One of my favorite quotes from Darkest Dungeon, which you know to be one of my favorite games, is a trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless. Because it's actually, I find, a really helpful framing device for when stuff is going poorly and to appreciate what isn't. The trifling victory is still a victory. But I have to tell you that in the last, like, 4 months, I've become increasingly incapable of appreciating any victory on any scale because everything that is good is met with an equal or greater negative. Which I hope you pieced together from last week's full rant stream and this rant, catching you up to speed on the things that have gone wrong this week that aren't also international news. Hi, Full Pixie, how are you doing? Would you all like to play some Dorfromantik if this will pick up? Let's resume a brand new game. I don't remember how to play this. Well, something has gone wrong because you can probably hear that I'm doing something in the game, even though it appears to be capturing my mouse cursor and showing Dorfromantik, it's not showing you what's happening live in the game. Isn't that interesting? What can be done about this? What window are you currently working off of? Can I... Let's do this. And then let me try... Is this any better? This is workable. I just need to fix the aspect ratio because it defaulted to something weird. This is what life is like. It's just suffering and busy work. Hooray. Hooray for the busy work. It's the best part. It's better than the suffering. Is that already the tagline for something? It feels like it should be. Okay, hold on. I am here. No, that's probably about where I need to be, huh? I could probably move... Yeah, that gives like a little bit of breathing room for the icons. It's fine. The perfect puzzle game, if you're interested. Wilmot works it out. Puzzle with a very relaxed mood. Well, I gotta tell you, the main reason that I currently have Dorfromantik active isn't just that it's a relaxing game, but also that with everything going on yesterday with the electrical thing and the quantum implosion of reality that I cannot fathom or explain, I absolutely haven't had time to do any, like, I had implied not long ago that I kind of wanted to play the last remastered Sam and Max before the end of the year. Um, and just, boy, there hasn't been any time to, like, download that or to hook up my PlayStation or anything. And I already have my Switch hooked up to the streaming PC because it was easier to test. And I had heard of a Ninja Turtles roguelike game that sounded really interesting, and I'm like, oh, I could do that. Literally almost all the things are in place for me to do that, other than to, like, turn on the Switch, download it, and make sure its stream works. Not time for that either. I mean, I had to, like, move all of my work gear over to my parents' house and then move it back over here so that I could, like, get my work done today. Oh, this is also a thing. Work is an absolute disaster right now. I'll spare you a full rant and details, but basically, like, the worst possible thing for my productivity happens to have occurred just now, like 3 days after I requested all my vacation time for the rest of the year, because it burns off at the end of the year. So I don't know if it's a literal or indirect punishment, but I'm sure really being hit hard by a massive influx of work to the point that there's like a soft quota where, like, you're kind of expected to manage like 30 like productive activities in a day. I did 59 today, and I'm way behind. So I almost can't see straight. I am less motivated to live than I've been in an extremely long time, and now we're playing Dorfromantik. How are you doing, Kronos? Good to see you. Anyone wants to talk about anything other than all of the things I've just complained about, you go right ahead. At least we've started with a boat. And at least now it's picking up the game. That's fun for someone. Interesting start. I'll do it like this. These match really nicely together. Then they kiss. Lone bird drifts by. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's actually really funny. Because those both just wanted, like, one more house, we could make, like, just like a little neighborhood. Isn't that nice? Does that feel loud? I don't know. This game is how you discovered the stream. I didn't recall that, Volpixie, but that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, now that you say that, that does sound right. Well, I hope you enjoy it. I promise I have exhausted my immediate need to rant. I'm just going through it. I imagine some of you are as well. So, you know, feel free to chat amongst yourselves or at me while I try to place these tiles. These tiles have a lot of blank edges. Yeah, it has been a week. It has been a really horrifying week. I have not witnessed anything, I think, that is more frightening than the mere concept of this week. Hey. I don't think that's what I want to do, but that works pretty nice. Yeah, I like this. Trees. Speaking of trees. What are my quests? I haven't looked at these. My efforts to move the camera have done nothing to make this more legible. But if I go any further south, I mean, I guess I could go in the lower corner. I don't know. Feels like a good spot. We got Questmaster 5. Complete 400 quests. This will take me the rest of my entire life. I don't play this game enough. Did I try out Pokemon Pocket at all? No, to be honest, Kronos, I haven't. But a fun fact about that is Pokemon Pocket is like an app game that came out fairly recently, I think. I don't know exactly when. That's like based on, but definitely not exactly, the Pokemon trading card game. This week, my sister took over as the creative director for the full Pokemon trading card game app, Pokemon TCG Live. So I have been playing that. I've actually been enjoying that a good bit. Swear it's all interconnected somehow. Most things are, I think. So I've heard a couple things about Pokemon Pocket, but I haven't tried it myself. Most of the time I have devoted to playing the game my sister works on, which is related. She was telling me some like anecdotal stuff about the orientation experience, which is it's really magical. I recommend that you check. I think she's streaming this week. Did I forget a reason why she would not be doing that? I don't remember. Does capitalization matter for shoutouts? I'm too brain dumb for it. Let's do this. Yeah, I mean, she's not streaming the game on her channel anymore, but I recommend you follow her, A, because she's my sister, B, because she's great, and also because I do believe she may not tell like full stories or whatever, but I think she had expressed the intention to talk about some of the fun, quirky, like Pokemon related orientation stuff on stream. So like these are all good reasons to check out her stream. That will be, I think she's still working off her West Coast time slot, even though she's currently in near my family's home from when I grew up in Pennsylvania. It's all very complicated. But yeah, check it out. She's great. Give her a follow. And we'll see. So I should probably say at this point, I do not intend to stream tomorrow. I am not really holding together all that well. And I had also promised my family we would normally near the start of November, we'd do like a whole weekend dedicated to watching early Hallmark Christmas movies. Because if you don't, you'll never watch all like 50 million Hallmark Christmas movies, which of course must certainly happen. So between those two things, we're gonna see if I can hardwire some Christmas joy to keep my brain working, because it's not doing great on its own. Had 3 moves hit for all 3. So wait, Claudia moved too? Or is there another? I don't know all the people you mod for, but I know that you also mod for Claudia and my sister and I. Move apartments, okay. Not quite as large a move, but still definitely a move and a change. Trees can go this way. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Is this better? No, because then the trees don't touch. Lasted 3 weeks? Wait, what lasted 3 weeks? The move? Did you have to move and then move again? That's unbueno. Wow, I wish I had paid attention to this awful tile. Hang on. I can make this work, right? Is one of these blank? No, these all count as house? Well, that's unfortunate. Well, there's not kind of a good place for that, then. You can go near the fields, because fields are my least favorite tile. That's kind of fun. Ooh, train. What to do with train? It's like a teal train. That's nice. Hey, do trains change color if you put them in different biomes? I feel like I should know this by now. I mean, that must be the case, right? Because the one that's on display under my face is yellow. But because of the biome I'm in, it's like teal. So that like has to be true. Alright, listen. If I get a train station, it's going around here. And then the boat and the train will kiss. No, thanks for showing up, anyone who's still here. I understand that you have a choice of what to do with your time, and me complaining about how hard my life is after buying a house, probably doesn't rank super good on anyone's list of things to do, but I don't know. Historically, people tell me that when I tell my sad stories, I do it in a way that is sufficiently amusing that they don't think of it as me complaining. I am always very skeptical of that, but I hope that that is the case so that at least you get enjoyment out of the fact that I had to watch those miserable people fill out that same paper 3 times. No, you're not flooding chat. I'm just not interesting. That's all. You're good, Demolition. Everything's good except the stuff that isn't, which is most of it. Yeah, let's leave the blank edge leading towards the city, I guess. Trees. Ooh, that's so close to good. It's not, but it's really close, you see? So, we do have some houses. It's also really close. I'm gonna do this. Make it really hard to do anything in particular. Don't worry about that. Hey, train tracks. Well, that's not what I want. Now, definitely wishing that I had the railway facing the other way then. Cool. So trees and stuff, huh? That's pretty good. Sure. Field and a single house. It doesn't line up the way I want it to. Yeah. Not like a great fit, but a good fit. Trees and a house, parentheses, different style. Trees in a house, parentheses, father. For those of you who haven't played, wait, what is the name of that one? I want to call it Shinobu, but that's not right. Sekiro? Shadows Die Twice? The FromSoft game? The weird one that doesn't play the same as the other FromSoft games? What's that one called? Hey, Separate Justice, welcome to the stream. There's basically like you encounter your character's like father as a boss like twice, and his name is Owl because it's like kind of like a fairy tale sort of environment almost. So there's like one time where you meet him and he's like Owl parentheses father is like the title that shows up on his health bar. Sekiro, yes, Sekiro, thank you. And then there's another time that he shows up and it's Owl parentheses something else. And I forget what the other one is, but Owl parentheses father is really funny to me. So. I can work with this. Guess this is going this way. Trees. This would be a bad place for trees. I think this would be a good place for trees. Oh man. I wish I had had this many houses tile before where I could have connected it to here. But I got them in a bad order where they don't do the cool thing I want. 2 quests. Who has 2 thumbs and has completed an equal number of quests? Hans Gruber. No, I don't know what that means either. Listen, I'm very unbelievably tired. That's a fun thing to do, I guess. I don't think these trees are like especially helpful for anything that already exists. You can call that a no. Sorry, I missed the Halloween stream if there was one. There were sort of a couple. Those are available on YouTube if you want to watch them. One of them I set up a Twitch plays for the game Costume Quest, where children are magically able to transform into a real version of the thing that they're dressed as to fight goblins who are trying to steal all the candy. But the plot isn't important because Twitch played it, so we didn't get extremely far. And then also spent a weekend playing through Fran Bow, which is a sort of spiritual prequel to Little Misfortune, which we played a couple years ago, which was a really, really good game. And Fran Bow was also really good. Spoiler alert. I know it's shocking to think of me playing a game I don't hate. Speaking of Hans Gruber, PCs nearly killed him during last week's 7-hour session. He managed to weasel himself out of it and poison his mark before panic. What game system are you using that has literal Hans Gruber in it? I'm putting this here. River. Huh. There aren't a lot of good places to put the river, huh? Okay, look, I know how bad this is, and looks and does and is. I want to put this here, and then put the train station right where the train has to go, and it's honestly very bad, but I just, for some reason, watching the train stare into the abyss of the river is like my exact mood. And I hope to free it in some sort of cathartic expression of misery. Now, we can continue to build backwards railways. I was recently trying to catch up on, like a year's worth of Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. And there is an episode from, like, 2023 about freight trains, and it does a callback to one of what I thought was the most memorable episodes of Thomas the Tank Engine. And then, in true Last Week Tonight style, it ends with them making their own, like, full, like, Thomas quality stop motion, like, train video, making fun of all the things that they uncovered in their research about trains. It's very good. I enjoyed that a lot. I have here fields. Ooh. Hey. It's almost good. Except that kind of like overlaps. Ooh, that's gotta be what I want, right? Yeah, that's what I want. I don't know if direction matters, but that's the one that calls to me. Stick around for the credits? You mean when they showed some of the, like, behind the scenes stuff? Yeah, I watched that. It was good. Does anyone have anything good to report from their week? I got something coming up. I think I alluded to it not long ago, but this is an exactly 7? That's so rude. I hate fields. Fields are the worst. Well, I guess I'm glad I put this here then. So Sophie Ellis Bextor, who's like my favorite musical act that no one has ever heard of, unless I make them listen to her. She had a tour that came through the U.S. earlier this year, and then she extended it. And I went to like the second or third date, I think, on the tour at the start of the tour. And now I'm going to the like second or third to last one at the end of the tour later this week, and I am excited for that. Technically could say that Claudia beat Lollipop Chainsaw Repop? Wait, what's Repop? I know Lollipop Chainsaw, the game where you play as a cheerleader with a chainsaw fighting a bunch of zombies, and your boyfriend's severed zombie head lives on your belt to, like, give you advice and cause lewd things to happen. Remake with fun title. That's fair. I didn't know that they did that, though. That's interesting. Hey, that's a pretty good way to connect these houses, in theory. So that the trees touch. It's Fields, Mrs. Fields. Yeah, probably like that. This can go here. So much innuendo, both from her and or both from the game and unintentionally from her. That does sound like what I expect that stream to be for sure. I definitely don't mind a lewd joke. You know, we've I think discussed at somewhat great length some of the issues with Uchikoshi trying to put lewd stuff into his games, where generally I like his like weird sci-fi ideas, and his lewd stuff like never feels like it fits the environment and always is like a little uncomfortable, like 98% of the time or something. I did see, I don't know what, oh, two fun Uchikoshi things. One, today I saw, I don't know what account it was, but like some Somnium Files like appreciation account posted like a series of screenshots from the conversation between Mizuki and Mama, where they talk about like wanting to give all the LGBTQ people a hug and tell them that it's okay. And I'm like, that's kind of a nice sentiment, even if, you know, times are tough. Which I appreciate the choice there. And then also earlier this week, inexplicably, someone asked Uchikoshi himself on Twitter what the character Clover from 9 Persons, 9 Hours, 9 Doors, what her favorite Pokemon is. And he just gave a flat-out direct answer. He said her favorite Pokemon is Mimikyu. And I thought that was just like the weirdest thing. Like, there's something so weird about like, hey, this would have no bearing on that game or the universe, but tell me what that character's favorite Pokemon is. And he not only, like, has a definitive answer, but is willing to just say it outright. It's like, that's just weird. It seems really odd. I mean, Mimikyu is a good choice, I think. I agree. It's a good Pokemon, and also I feel like it fits that character. Now, this isn't probably a good place for this river, but it is the place where this river goes. Oh, God. You gotta be kidding me with this crap. So if I put this... If I put this anywhere other than here, then it's impossible to connect these without going over, because it would require... Oh, God. Just... Stop giving me these, like, nothing but single tile type tiles. You're killing me. It's Alakazam, Ditto, Psyduck. That's a good roster. I feel like at this point you probably know mine. Obviously Squirtle, but then I like recently assembled like an army of plush toys for like my favorite Kanto Pokemon. And then outside of those, a lot of my favorites are just like ghost Pokemon that came out since then, like Litwick and Drifloon. And I mean, Mimikyu also very good. I have been, speaking of the Pokemon trading card game live app, I've really been honing one particular deck I've been working on that's like based on one of the starter decks they give you. And I think I've done a pretty good job. It's performing pretty well. It was having issues with, I mean, like, the Charizard deck is a real scourge. Like, Charizard is too good. I don't know what they were doing with that version of Charizard. He's really messed up. But I was playing, like, more Mimikyu in my deck because it was, like, a Psychic deck, and ghosts tend to fall under Psychic in the card game. It's weird. There's, like, an internal logic, and it sort of is intuitive, but it doesn't actually make any sense. But basically the deck was like able to play Mimikyu, and like the current Mimikyu is like it has protection from like what they call like EX, like rule box Pokemon, like Pokemon that are powerful enough that they get like a ton of extra hit points and usually do a bunch of damage, and like they're so scary that they give you more prize cards when you beat them. And so like the Charizard is that type of card. So I was like, I put the Mimikyus in my deck to help mitigate that bad matchup. And then for some reason recently, everyone's been like, the metagame shifted where I think like people like Charizard decks were annoyed with Mimikyu. So they all started playing this like Dusclops. No wait, what's the evolved one? Dusknoir. They play this Dusknoir that has an ability that like basically like knocks itself out to deal like 120 damage to something without attacking it. And so like they use that as a way to take out Mimikyu when really their only attacking Pokemon are like rule box Pokemon that Mimikyu otherwise blocks. So then I did a bunch of research and found that there's another psychic Pokemon that has an ability that says if you put psychic energy on your Pokemon, those Pokemon are immune to any damage from abilities. So I like meta gamed them, and now I'm playing this stupid thing. I don't even know. It's some like legendary Pokemon I've never seen before called like Aronis or something. And I've played 2 or 3 games now where like people are so unaware of this like completely stupid Pokemon that no one plays that they like miss the fact that like I've completely protected myself from the Dusknoir thing. So they'll just like they'll have their Dusknoir knock itself out, target my Mimikyu, but like the ability prevents stuff from happening to Mimikyu. So basically they just knock their Pokemon out and then their turn keeps going, and they're always like, what? Like no one has ever read the card and they keep getting caught off guard by this. And it's like my favorite thing happening this week because it makes me feel like ridiculously clever. Because like I've had to metagame so hard to be able to do anything against that stupid Charizard deck. And like it's actually like kind of working, but only because like no one has read the card. Like once they've read the card, well, I don't know. I did have a really long match today where like they just couldn't do anything else. Because I had protected myself against the Dusknoir, they just like didn't have any other options. Their deck was basically like all in on Charizard with backup plan Dusknoir, and because I had neutralized both of those, they were just like like they almost decked themselves just like trying to find literally anything else to do, and they couldn't do it. Chris says, Justin asks, what are my thoughts on Wobbuffet? Like in general, I mean, it's not my favorite. I enjoy the sort of depiction of Wobbuffet in the anime. I'm not a huge fan of Wobbuffet as a Pokemon because it's very like techie and like not proactive and just like kind of annoying. It's like a totally valid strategic choice. It's not a thing I find particularly fun. Collecting Pokemon cards again since the 151 pack dropped about a year ago. I was using a Blastoise deck when I played in TCG Live. Don't know if it was good. I don't really. It's hard for me to like parse what Pokemon come in what sets. It's not a thing that the TCG app excels at right now. But with my sister on the case, it will probably improve. I mean, I played a Blastoise deck like way back in like the first like 5 sets. The one with Rain Dance, big fan of that. That was like my main go-to deck. There is like a Blastoise deck that's like there's a Blastoise currently in Standard that like has a power that reduces damage done to him. That's kind of fun, but I only have like one of it, so like I haven't made a deck around it. Well, it sounds like people are acting like a Yu-Gi-Oh player. In what sort of way? Just like the intense, like counter planning of like knowing the whole meta game and that sort of thing. Can hit for a ton of. How much damage does he do? I don't happen to remember. Like he seems like he's pretty legit. I haven't That's close. It's close to what I want. Oh, not reading the cards. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's definitely like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime character thing to do, right? Is that like a stereotype about Yu-Gi-Oh! Players themselves? I know it's a meme in the Magic community of reading the card explains the card. I think originated with the Tolarian community college professor. Delicious is playing Wilmot and found the cutest cauliflower. I don't understand. That doesn't seem possible. Just recall using Wobbuffet to be one of the stronger gym leaders. Oh yeah, like I have no problem doing like really stupid stuff against gym leaders. They always sauce them up to some annoying level. Anyone who's played against Whitney's Mill Tank knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, like I don't. It's just I just don't like. It's really strong at what it does. It strikes me as the sort of thing where like. Kind of like the card game thing I was talking about, where like if you find the right counterplay to it, like all of a sudden it like doesn't do anything. But like yeah, it's just like not Wobbuffet's not my vibe as like an actual like Pokemon to use in the games. This way hits for 280, which could one-shot a lot of cards. Yeah, 280 is pretty high. Like a lot of EX and V Pokemon are like at or above 300, but like there's still like a good number of like powerful stuff that just gets one hit KO by a 280 attack. That's pretty good. I'm really glad that we're on a new release cycle for TCG Live because Stellar Crown, the set from the last Battle Pass, I really hated that set. There were like no cards in that set that I wanted to play. And like all the prizes were from that set, so I'd get a new pack and open it and be disappointed and do that on a loop. And then like towards the end of October, I like looked up what the whole set had in it. I'm like, there's like no cards I want to play in this set. No wonder they're all disappointing. I have like the whole set and I just don't like it. Stupid. Ostensibly I'm playing Dorfromantik, by the way. It's close to what I want. Hate the terrestrial gimmick, both in the main game and the look of the cards. Yeah, I definitely... I appreciate on some level the mechanical design of letting you, like, change your Pokemon's, like, type bonus and weakness as, like, a gimmick for the games. It's definitely not my favorite, mostly because of how it feels like to actually get... I mean, first off, it is both impossible to say and to spell terrestrialize. We could have done better. But like the getting like the Terra type that you want is like dependent on like raids and luck and like multiplayer, and like I hate when Pokemon does stuff like that. I don't like that addition to the games at all. Like ever since they started doing that in Sword and Shield, like it's just been a bummer to me. Like, I know that Pokemon's always had, like, a certain amount of stuff that you couldn't do if you didn't, like, play with people, you know, with, like, trade evolutions back in Gen 1, but I also didn't like that very much. I mean, back then, it was popular enough that I had friends who played it, and we just, like, traded trade evolution Pokemon back and forth so we could get what we wanted, but, like, it's just a nuisance not to be able to, like, enjoy the game. And I'm not even saying, like, I have an issue with, like, the two versions. Like, that's fine. But, like, it just annoys me when I can't just, like, play the entire game myself, you know? Just want to play the main story, do some post-game, maybe trade battle with a casual friend. Right, Kronos? Like, yeah, I feel like we're roughly on the same page there. I'm just gonna, just go there. Do I have some place that wants this? Nah. Nope. Oh, hang on. Oh, that's so close. That's really close. That's close enough. I like how that looks. Ooh, is this something? Nah, I've decided it isn't. Sure, I could go there. We finished that quest. Flag goes up. We're playing through the old games and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, for Christmas last year, my brother got me the Analog Pocket, which rules. But I have to say, like, when I had the power to play my old Game Boy games again, really all I've wanted to do is like play Pokemon Red and Blue. I've tried to do a few Nuzlockes, and because of the critical hit ratios in those old games, I just keep getting like completely dumpstered. But still having a good time. I did have a run where I literally made it to the Pokemon champion and lost to his last Pokemon, which was pretty heartbreaking. But like I had already lost like both of my ace Pokemon and was really grinding metal at that point. Like that was like destined for failure. At that point I did not hold out much hope. Trees. I have a forest somewhere, but I can't see it for all the trees. The houses don't line up because nothing ever lines up. That's nothing. That's not anything. Boop, boop, boop. Mind, how's my brother doing? Honestly, I don't know. I mean, most of the updates I've gotten throughout this year are that he's having kind of a rough time. I don't think I can really go much more into that because I don't think it's my business to share any of that publicly. Unlike my sister, he doesn't make the choice to make that stuff public, and you know he generally doesn't like social media and whatever. But it sounds like he's really going through it. But I haven't gotten an update in like a month or something. He's the one still living in California. Not that long ago, my entire family was living in the state of California. I'm just not happy with these tiles, and then I keep procrastinating, and we've made like no progress in this entire stream. Isn't that sad? Yeah, these houses are not where the houses should be. Hey, found it. That's where it lines up. Some houses. That's not it. Hey, we're talking about Pokemon. There are several people here whose like favorite Pokemon I don't know. What is everyone's favorite Pokemon? I feel like I'm allowed to say, because I think my sister even said it on stream last week, that like one of the things they told her early on about her orientation at this new Pokemon job was that like one of the early steps of the process is that you would choose a partner Pokemon. And she's mentioned a little bit about what that means, and it's pretty great. But like what's your favorite Pokemon? Have I ever streamed a Pokemon emulator or Nuzlocke before? I haven't. I've been thinking about it more recently because I really enjoyed going back to Red and Blue. What I have done, if you're interested in watching something like that, a while back, my friend Tek Azurik and I, when we were still doing our regular updates on our joint YouTube channel, The Renegade Constabulary on YouTube, we did a playthrough of, I think it was Fire Red. It was either Fire Red or Leaf Green. But the meme was, we kept calling it Poison Purple because he was doing most of the playing and I was like coaching him. It was a fun dynamic because I know the game's a lot better than he does, but like he had played Gen 1 and hadn't ever played the remakes. I thought it was a good time. But his luck with his Pokemon getting like hit by like poison status effect was like horrendous. It was like embarrassingly bad. Not that like there's any actual skill to that. It was just like the number of times that would happen when there was like a 10% chance was like staggering. Squirtle for you, Chronos, first Pokemon you ever picked and stuck with him? Yeah, same here. I will admit that for a long time I had a tough time deciding whether I liked Squirtle or Eevee more because I loved them both so much for slightly different reasons. But yeah, I mean, Squirtle has won out in the end for me, even though I still have like lots of Eevees. Do I have an Eevee up right now? I think I put it... No, I do. It's up behind my head. It's actually as I've been moving my head around this entire stream, you just occasionally see Eevee back there. That's a pretty good fit. could do this. Then I would have to... I think I prefer this. I think this thing coming up will be a better fit for... Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to run the mental math on how those two tiles interacted with each other, but this looks really good. Forest. It's a lot of forest. Now, you know what? This forest goes over here. And this amazing tile that fits perfectly, where the houses touch and the forests touch, that goes there. Okay, hang on. Whoa! Okay, real talk, chat. We managed to find a tile that wasn't a water train station that somehow bridges the gap between the river and the railroad. Do we place this tile, or do we wait for a train station? I'm inclined to put this down because I think it's amazing to get the train to go that close to the river. I've never seen such a thing happen. At least I don't remember it. This is a wild tile. If nothing else, I will say, if you're not already aware, if I place this tile now, it should free up the train to start ting-tinging. But it does seem like placing the tile is the popular choice, and I do have to say, that's where I'm leaning as well. Ting-ting. Do I want to close off the river, or possibly leave it open? Interesting question. I think I want to leave it open. This field's a bit of a bummer because I think it will prevent me from ever getting a perfect tile in a spot where it should like otherwise be pretty easy. Yeah, do this. Now, what does it look like if I try to put this river here? Like really bad? Okay, that's fair. Oh boy. None of that looks good. I guess I could put this here. Can I try this? It does not fit very good. It fits very ungoodly. Yes, I think I will do this. I'm gonna give the boat a little lake to hang out in. It's unfortunately not a perfect tile, but I like the way it looks. Real end thing. Yeah, obviously that blocks that off. That's not very good. I'm not liking a lot of these tile choices. By choices, I mean randomly generated tile stuff. It's so close to good. Nah, you know what? We're gonna put this here so that we can maybe wrap the train around to join up to the city. I do like to do that. There's no, like, mechanical benefit to doing that, but it makes me happy to think that the imaginary people that you don't see in the village can take the train to get really close to that river or whatever. Ooh, a new boat. This tile could be anything, even a new boat. Well, I suppose I have a few... I could put it down here. This is not particularly exciting to me. I suppose I could expand the lake. If I didn't, I would need a tile that had only one house on it for a perfect tile. That actually seems very plausible. Even though I kind of like this. I'm gonna put this here. And leave the dream aligned for a really stupid train station at some point. Trees. Trees. Ooh, trees. I like how that looks. Right, that's nothing. Kind of close to something. Does anyone, I feel like outside of, like, Hallmark stuff, I don't watch very many movies these days. I feel like it's not been an especially good year for movies. This week, though, I happened to watch two. Some of them were like last weekend, but I think these were both since the last time I streamed. I watched Woman of the Hour and Trap. I think it's just called Trap, the new-ish M. Night Shyamalan movie. I feel like those are both like potentially spoilable movies, but my not spoiler responses to them are I'm generally inclined to like an M. Night Shyamalan movie more than most people. I did genuinely, though, like Trap a good amount. It's not exactly what I expected it to be, but I wouldn't say that it does the stereotypical twist that everyone likes to make fun of M. Night Shyamalan for doing. I just think it commits to doing something that I found unexpected, and I enjoyed that about it. Woman of the Hour, I did find disappointing. I didn't think it was bad. I found that it was disappointing. And mainly for something that I think if I went into it would probably be considered spoilery, but I don't know, it's also sort of based on, like, historical events or whatever, so it's a weird grayish area. Sort of a grayish area, if you will. I forgot that I put a railroad there, even though I did it not very long ago. Oh yeah, the substance, right. Still don't fully understand the substance, but I understand it well enough, I suppose. Hey, Eos. Hope you're holding up okay. I've been trying to, like, really conscious... Like, normally when I, like, sign off, like, work emails, I try to, like, give some pleasantry of, like, I hope you have a great day, smiley face. And, like, this week I've been, like, really careful with my word choice to just be like, don't be dead. Signed me. Don't want to overstate positivity. I don't know if that's anything. Ooh. Oh, then the water doesn't... You know what? That's funny, though. It's funny if the water doesn't touch. Maybe I'll wrap another river around it. It'll just look super weird. Like your manager who said, who's ready for a great day Wednesday morning? Back in 2016, when a similar day happened, I was working a job where I had, like, there were, like, two sort of co-owners / bosses of the company. And 3 of the 4 of us who worked out of that main office were all, like, not having a good time. And she came in similarly. And she was like, oh, I know you all are having a hard time. And I'm like, I beg your pardon. To you, a woman, this is okay? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, Lord. I have overestimated you. This, mind you, I think this was just last week I was talking about this. That's the same woman who wanted not to give us a Christmas holiday because it was on a Sunday one year. And when you know both those things, yeah, it kind of tracks, right? Big Scrooge energy. Oh boy, that's not where I want that river to go. I can make this work. I'm gonna make the worst river you've ever seen. You will hate this river. When we're done, you'll want to bleach your eyeballs because of how bad this river is. I mean, I could put this over here, make a little wet donut, but nah. I'm gonna make this garbage river. Is this anything? Oh, look at how bad that is. You hate to see this. What's happening here? Ugh. Where does this go? I suppose it could go here. What is this mess of a tile? It's got a little bit of field, a bunch of forest, and a single house. Who's buying that house in this economy? Where could this possibly belong? Here, I guess. It's probably about as good as that's getting. Obviously, that doesn't line up. 2 houses, both alike in dignity. Oh, man. Speaking of movies, but this time that are Hallmark movies, when I was staying over with my parents because of the electrical thing. Like, I went over to my parents' house to work because of the electrical work being done on my place. It was such a fiasco. And we watched, like, probably genuinely, like, one of the bottom, like, 5 at least Hallmark movies I've ever seen. It was a real stinker. Like, both my dad and I had seen independent sources that, like, lauded it as, like, an exceptional, like, all-time great Hallmark movie. And we were watching, we're just like, ugh. But do you like how I started by looking at this and then told a story about a Hallmark movie and then was like, hey, maybe it'll go here now? That nothing has changed. I appreciated that about myself. Ah, if this didn't have trees, it'd be like perfect. Dang. Is this something? Do I want this? Could be something. That's nothing. This is okay. I'm gonna do this. House and trees. I don't think I have a place for this. This is a messy tile. Oof, that is indeed a messy tile. It would be hard to ever find a place to put something like this. I don't know if this makes a difference. I'll say one good thing of relative recent history. The time change has really helped my sanity. For some reason, it's just been like a lot easier to like manage my sleep schedule with that like 1 hour, 1 time. Like, it's not good, but it's not constantly broken anymore. Like, it's like an improvement. There we go. And then the houses can touch maybe at some point. Yeah, it's a classic trifling victory. Hang on, I've revealed something. I did it. I found that tile I mentioned earlier. Hooray for me. Oof. That's not gonna match anything, huh? Ooh, very nice. How nice. I don't wanna... I mean, I finished the... Oh man, I forgot such a thing existed as like a open flag railway mission. Lord. But I don't ever want to end the railway. I just want them to become huge. Oh, hang on. I was gonna say like I really wanted to put a train station over here, but like there's one coming up. Now the problem is, I wish these tiles were reversed because I'd love to put the train station down and then have the angled piece come off the other side. How much do I care about actually having perfect tiles and stuff? This is always a struggle. I mean, it's pretty hard to do it with the rails and rivers. I think I'm gonna do this and then this. Even though I kind of wanted to have like a loop. And then they kiss. Okay. So put that there. Could put this here. Maybe I want like more fields. And it's a trick question, of course, because the answer is nowhere. I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do... No, I changed my mind. I'm gonna wait for a better thing there. Don't worry about it. It's just, there's so much. There's just so much. It's also like very much. Ugh. Have a big field. That seems like a very bad idea. I think we'll make another town over here. That's like a windmill town. And that town is gonna need an end rail so that it has like a windmill destination kind of thing. I'm gonna do it like this. If I'd pay more attention, this might have been a better fit there. But you know what? Shut up. Just put it there. It's just like a bit of like loose railway from some long demolished railway project. It's essentially impossible to close this after putting a train station there, huh? Windmill Destination is a surprisingly unpopular spin-off of Final Destination. I mean, it's definitely less exciting to watch, but like if you really like, you know, milling grain or whatever. Selection is such a bummer, man. None of it's really going the way I want. What a novel concept. Sure, I'll loop this together somehow. Future me will figure that out. Does this combination of houses do something? Eh. No. That can do something at some point, probably, maybe. Okay, hold on. Yes. I like the way that looks. Very spindly and weird. Okay. Some houses with a little damp spot. Man, insurance is gonna hate that. Oh man, is there like a way to connect that to Misery River? It's very unpleasant. It doesn't feel like calculatedly unpleasant, if you know what I mean. Which I don't know why you would. This can be some waterfront property, why not? After all, why shouldn't I? Okay, hold on, so this would be... I do like the look of that. Let's go there. Well, it's not as good. Pretty good. If I do it this other side, does that connect a little better? No, I think I should prefer this way. Fields. Oh, does that do what I want? No, I want slightly more empty. I'm never going to finish that little field quest. It's not possible. This is simply too much field for one person, don't you think? This is already not a perfect tile. So if I connect a bad edge there, it's not actually very expensive. So let's do that. Castle Arg, it is good to see you. I hope you're doing alright. We're playing Dwarf. I think you guessed that. Even though you probably didn't hear the signature. Wait for it. Ting Ting. Tree trees and house and stuff. Trees. I do have to close this, huh? Gotta patch that too. Should put more work into that instead of endlessly building everything. Although I do enjoy endlessly building things in Dorfromantik. I'm much worse at not doing that. This town is so spoopy. Oh my god. What if... How is that possible? Look at that truly weird shape. Oh, I don't know. I mean, like, this is like a useful way to connect this horrible tentacle blob to the rest of the river I've created, but I mean, just, wow. I mean, if I built this way, it would make it impossible to build a little town, so I really shouldn't. But there's something I really appreciate about that. Alright, you go here. Somehow there's a perfect tile in that mess. Don't really understand it. We'll not worry too much about it. Oh, that's a good tile right there. That's a good one. Alright. That seems really bad to do. Can you get to ghost train tiles? It'd be really fun to build out to one of these and just like immediately connect it to a rail system. I think statistically that's pretty unlikely. That's right. I have like multiple examples of like that's okay. Trees. I thought I was supposed to be making like a forest happen over here. I think part of the reason for that is that these tiles are bad. It's so weirdly close to being the tile I want there. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Do not have an active quest there. Let's do that. Why not? It's mostly good enough, and I just kind of want to be done with that area. It'd be nice to close it off and do something. Okay. Okay. Ooh, whoa. Ooh, that's very tempting. Boy, does that look bad. Yeah, I'm definitely doing that. And then, oh, yeah. 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 Very bad. Very ungood river. What this? It's like a here thing? What a bad shape. Placing it. Done. think what I want is something that will branch the railway out to meet this train quest. So I'm going to close the whole rest of this loop in a way that frees this train to Ting Ting. Ooh. That's pretty good. It's better than that. And that. This is a bad space I've created for myself. It's not terrible, but it's not good. Honestly, I'm gonna put this here. It looks nice, and it matches enough things. This is for... This is a big number. It's like a big number of houses. How's the headache? Well, without the light on, it's backed off a pretty good amount. Yeah, my light sensitivity has definitely spiked even more than usual. Here's a fun question for chat. I was thinking about this as I was developing the headache shortly before going live. So on a scale of like 1 to 10, how would you rate the amount that you feel like you require sunglasses or shade from the sun on like just like a sunny summer day? Not like out in the desert or something, but like a warm day with some direct sunlight, not overcast or whatever. Like 1 to 10, like, are you like, oh, it'd be nice to have it, or I don't really care at all? It would be like a 1. It'd be nice to have it, probably be like a 3 or a 4. I'm like pretty close to a 10. There's like famously a time when I went to Disneyland with Tech and his wife and a mutual friend of ours. We went to Disneyland around the time that he was leaving California years ago, and we like went to this restaurant like just outside the park. And it was like right around sunset, but like the position of the sun was like, they wanted to like seat us outside, and then like the sun was just like directly in my face. And you know, like we'd been doing a lot of walking and stuff, and we were like outdoors where there wasn't any like air conditioning or even like cooling mist or whatever that they'll sometimes do, I think. And like I just like after like 2 minutes, I just like leaned over like real close to like Tech and his wife, and I was like, I am literally going to die if we don't move away from here. Like, this is too much sun. I absolutely hate this, and I will die. And then we asked the server, and we went inside because well, spoiler alert, I didn't die. You can tell my focus is dwindling because normally I'd probably be a little more of a stickler about trying to like make these perfect tiles, but I keep just like giving up. I think part of it is I think my tile selection is a little weird. Not gonna lie about that. But like, you know, that's like literally the whole game. It's like the luck of the draw there. But like normally I have a little more patience for it, but today not so much. Sure, I guess. It's fine, but not good. Hear me out. This is an ambitious tile placement, but I think I'm going to put this here, hoping that I can, like, find some way to join 3 rails here and, like, 2 rails here. I want this house to be facing the other house. Ooh, look at that. A tile that actually fits good. I haven't seen a lot of those recently. My brain was not processing the fact that the game was interpreting that I would somehow fill in trees there. I guess 25 isn't an unreasonable number to try and fit in one tile, given the way those work. My mom points out she has difficulty tolerating the process of wearing sunglasses. Try to wear trapeze too intensely between glasses and eyes. I benefit from them, but can't stand wearing them. Didn't actually know that my grandfather had transitions. I remember when transitions first came out, and one of my friends in like middle school had them, and it seemed like sorcery, just because like they weren't like extremely widely known. I don't know how much the technology has improved. There was a real lack of subtlety to the transitions originally, where like if for some reason it was like struggling to detect the correct level of light to adjust for, like you'd be in like a dark space and they would just stay dark and it would be like, oh, that's weird. I'm gonna close off this town, I've decided. Not like immediately, but I want to do it. It's a good time. Mission says, I do wonder what will happen to me in the next decade. Radioactive spider bite seems likely. I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna put my name down on that that pull from the pool of all possibilities. I like this song or tune or whatever exactly you want to call it. Not the sort of thing I would like generally like listen to recreationally, but like there's something so quintessentially Dorfromantik about this ambient track here. And the houses kiss. Oh, if only those trees fit correctly. It doesn't do what I want. This does, though. There's... none of that appears to be anything. Yeah, I like this. Do this. Finish quest. I haven't been paying attention to the number of tiles I have at all. I'm sure that's fine. What could possibly go wrong? I'm gonna start building towards finishing this field. Fields suck and are dumb, and I don't want them around anymore. Ooh, okay. Sometimes. Whatever this horrible body of water it is. Oh my god, it's like Gromit the dog from Wallace and Gromit. Do you think we could finish making Lake Gromit the dog? Oh, where's the worst place for... Oh, I'm not on lake yet. Still gotta do this. That's pretty good. Yes. Alright, so this lake tile is not helpful towards making the shape of Gromit, the dog. So we won't use that here. Quest fulfilled, eh? Yeah, why not? Do I need 2 trees in this weird configuration? Feels like the sort of thing that sometimes you need without realizing it. Not be the case this time. It may be a fabrication of our writer's room. But why, you ask, could the boy suddenly speak Chinese? Sorry, my mind drifted into Beyond Belief, where Jonathan Frakes just says weird stuff to you all the time. That's pretty good. So closing off this forest is a thing. That weird field. Oh, field filled with house. That's so close. It's almost the thing I want. That's just not gonna line up anywhere, huh? Probably not do that. Yep, feels like that's not gonna do what I want it to do. Oh, that's pretty good. But then... Well, Isn't this clock tower already goofed? It is. So that's not a perfect tile. So leaving that edge bad is fine. This is otherwise nearly perfect. So I'm going to put this here. At least gives me a target on exactly what I want to fill in there. Now see, I'm tempted to like, this slots really nicely here with the forests overlapping. But if I do that, it's going to be really hard to build Lake Gromit the dog. And this is weirdly important to me. So 10 there, 23 here. But I do want to finish off this town. Although, this town also doesn't have like a flag quest. So like, it's just going to be hard to keep building it. Too much like stuff happening. Let's try and like not put things around Lake Gromit the dog that will cover that up. Nope. If you're wondering why I don't just like build this forest towards the obvious forest quest, I've done something strange to myself where like I accidentally put some water here, and I really kind of want to tether that into this horrible like jellyfish water system. So I may find a way to just like tank that quest so I can get like a river running around there. But then I have like none things to do with trees, so it's like not the best. Suppose I can... What are all the things that are connected to this? Just there, huh? That's not so bad. Could probably do better than this tile for closing that off. Yeah, I guess I could connect this here. Oh, found a ghost. A ghost. There's too many? There's like nothing. Alright, field quest start. Quest done. Do I have... Let's see, I know I have the equivalent of this if I replace these trees with houses. I don't know that I have one where I need two individual trees positioned in this way. That's pretty good. It's not bad. It's at least making use of a quest I don't want to bother with. Sure, that looks good. Fields. I thought that was going to close that off, but there's still an exposed field, so it wasn't going to do that. So again, this is too much water if I want to make it look like Gromit the dog. Big wet mess. That's something. It's not something particularly good, but it is something. So to actually perfect this space, I need something that has a little copse of trees adjacent to two fields touching each other, all in a row in exactly the right configuration. That sounds dumb. I'm gonna get 3 perfect tiles and move on with my life. Okay, now, it's a little bit of a problem. I haven't gotten those particular rail configurations that I wanted. I think I'm just gonna put this little train quest over here. Oh, it's so close. Might just put that there. I mean, am I really gonna do better than that? I mean, I would need another house directly adjacent to it. That feels pretty ambitious, to be honest. Also doesn't help here. Oh. That's pretty good. If I did that, then I would have only one place to build off this field quest to finish it. It might not be the best. Is this something? It's okay. It's not what I want. It's... Ooh, it does something. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, I like that. Just gotta be careful around here. This should go here, I think. I would like to build train over to here, even though it's not gonna do what I want at all. It's so bad. A bad body of water. Which is sort of the point, but still horrible to look at. Ooh. Nope, it's not aligned in a good way. You know what? Closes the forest off. I'm sick of waiting for the forest to work itself out. None of that is good. It's too much water for Gromit the dog. Why not? Okay. This river might be part of what I need to make... Oh no, it's not. I need something weird. And I need this... It's gonna be insanely hard to build this. What's the configuration that made that? Oh, it's mostly just one tile, huh? What's the thing that finishes that, if not this little curved piece? I think I need like 2 really specific irregular lake tiles. That's a big ask, I think. Put this over here, since this little turn isn't doing any good in my big horrible river project. Oh, that's a little more like it. Actually, yeah. That's exactly what I want. Okay. So the only forest currently active is that one up there. It's like not... I mean, there's still kind of no way for me to do that if I want that river to go around there, which I do, which doesn't make any sense, but... Sense isn't why you play Dorfromantik. It's weird aesthetic core. I don't know what this is doing. It'll sort itself out eventually, or not. Sure. That seems fine. Some field. So field quest there. Gotta close that at some point. Oh, field quest here. Field quest here. Forgot about this one. Okay, river. Now this doesn't in any way contribute to the good dog shape of this confusing water feature. So, it will instead aim to curve around the forest. Oh, that works pretty good. Ooh, that works pretty good too. These trees are on the opposite side from where I want them. Where they'd fit nicely in that spot for a third time in a row. Sometimes you just play Dorfromantik and you completely disassociate, and that's fine. You want, like, dense tree tiles here. I'd love to finish this stupid 132 forest quest in a way that I could still wrap the river around it. It sounds pretty ambitious, but actually I don't think 132 trees in a handful of tiles is that hard. That's not enough trees. Whatever, just some throwaway stuff. That's fine. Fields are bad tiles. Ooh. That's nice. Does this somehow help the... I definitely need some weird... Yeah, I need, like, regular lake tiles for sure. Disaster. Could I possibly have created such a nightmare tile that this would somehow fit somewhere? It's horrible, like every side is something different that doesn't cohesively connect to anything around it. Wow, that's remarkably close considering. Yeah, you can go there. I have no home for that. It's a tragedy. That's all that is. That's looking good, but not great. Does this go over here? It's not quite what I want. It would be enough to finish that quest, though. No, that's not what I want. Yeah, I'll go with this. Now I need something that has like a field next to a house so I can plug this in. I feel like it was supposed to be a bird call, but I feel like in the background there was something that sounded vaguely like an old-timey, like, politician yelling out of like a megaphone from like a Model T. Only I could position where the field and the house were. That'd be like exactly the thing I want. Yeah, I don't think I have a place I particularly like for this. That's okay. It's not good, but I don't care very much about this corner down here. It's where I put kind of a lot of my crap tiles, to be honest. And I guess that's just fine. Is this something? That's not very many trees for the limited amount of space I want to jam a bunch of trees into. Ooh. Hang on. Yeah, okay. How is this? 12 more houses. Over here would be more than that, more houses. Guess that's fine. Does this solve any of my field-related crises? Probably not. Maybe this one. There's a little more blank space. I guess technically I want a house on this side, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm ready to be done with that quest. And it won't be that hard to close off that field. It's one of these close off field quests. I'm notoriously bad at that. Yeah, self-sufficiency 3. Close 50 field groups with at least 10 fields. I think we'll actually get a couple points on that endless quest. And then finish 25 sessions with a score of at least 5,000. Well, hey, we've managed that, at least. If nothing else, we've got that going for us. One tiny sample of forests, huh? And not like a random field on the other side or anything. A random, like, adjacent field. Sorry, a random JSON field. I'm gonna plug this in here because I want that quest to be done. Sick of looking at it. It's closer than some of those things I've seen to fitting Gromit face. Not a perfect fit here by any means, but I like this little autumn tree swamp continuation here. I don't know, I have like a little... got a quest over here, yeah? That doesn't really conflict with anything, so that seems like a good place to put that. This could be something for over here. Something like this. And then the river wraps around that, maybe around the edge of these placeable tile spots. Ooh. Probably fit something with more trees in there. I like that the house matches, but it's also not a perfect fit or anything like that. Still have any like trees near houses I'm trying to fill in? I feel like I don't. Not like really. It's kind of something. It's kind of bad for business though. Oh, that's pretty good. You get to go in the junk drawer. Okay. I'm introducing you to this Ting Ting ecosystem. I gotta find something that'll bridge this gap. But when I do, oh, the trains are gonna go off. Go nuts. Well, if I weren't trying to finish off that field there, this would be a pretty good choice, I think, for this zone. Incredibly, I am trying to do that thing I said. That just looks bad and feels bad. Weirdly tempting. So is this. I think I'll go with this one because it at least advances that quest I should, like, do before I die. If there was a way to add these trees and still have the river go the way I wanted to, that would be something. Doesn't really work out, though. But I can use this as sort of like a placeholder to remind me to go around and give the trees a little more room. It's not nothing. Fields. Yeah, this is pretty good. This will narrow it down, so I just need like one field someplace. Not that. Get rid of the single house space. I do have a double house space, but I don't think I have like another space that's like perfect with just one house. Probably some good spots though, at least. Get like multiple perfect tiles if I can get that just right, so I'm being picky about it. That seems pretty good. Doesn't get in the way of the railway I want to build here or up this way. In fact, it acts as like a good corner sort of situation. So how much trees is this? It's only 10, huh? Maybe this is an impossible task. Either that or I'm just gonna wait for like all of the only trees tiles forever and ever. Yeah, I feel like this tile does not contribute to any tree or field related tasks I currently have going in a way that is helpful. Similarly, whatever this is, not a fan. You know what? That's pretty good. Now this tile's got kind of a lot of trees on it. If I were to connect that here, that is like 20 by itself. That's a little more like it. Okay, house quest. Do have one of those currently. It's a little janky, to be honest, but that's okay. We can work with that. Finish quest. Would love this with a field instead of trees. That would be nice. Whoa, really? Oh, no, this bottom edge isn't perfect, but it's really close. I kind of want to do this just... It's a pretty good fit, and it will also sort of, again, acts like a framing device for this lake, so I don't accidentally cover it with a tile. This is a lot of trees. How many trees is this? It's like another 21 trees. Go in on that. This is not very many trees. This one is not pudding. Here we go. That's close to the tile I've been looking for. One house. That's all you really need. One house. It is, however, not the name of the treasure on the Grand Line. That is something else. Yeah, why not? Oh, some fields, eh? Wise guy. Whoa, I hit one of those buttons I don't want. Yeah, that's close enough. Guess I'll start a new field over here. I think... Would it be better to try and link it to... Oh, there's a ghost thing over here, right? Yeah, that's something. Could try to build the fields down that way and connect there. Oh, the trees are on the wrong edge where it won't touch the forest. That'd be so nice if it did. I can do that, and that's actually pretty good. I can work with that. Does this finally connect? No, it hinges at the wrong side. Can I do something useful with this? I got multiple quests. I guess my options are sort of like I could branch it to encapsulate the ghost tile, which doesn't make any sense. Or I could hinge this so that the railway snakes back on itself again. It was trees. It's trees over there. The answer was trees. So these trees could help with Tree Quest 2024. Little river. Little tiny river. This does not help me make a Gromit the dog. It makes a weird, bulbous, sad thing happen instead. So... Oh, I can put Little River over there. Now I've created a wet donut. Everyone's favorite. Don't I have... Yeah, this doesn't really connect to any of these, huh? Guess I could... Yeah, set that up as like a hinge point for all that business. Wet donuts from being in the bathroom. I mean, different people have different ways of enjoying their bathroom donuts. I'm not a soaker. Some people are into that sort of thing. More of a traditionalist when it comes to the moisture level of a donut. This seems fun. Ooh, train station. That will definitely fix this train-related mess and solve 3 quests at the same time. Hey, does this... do anything with my Gromit? Nah, I need something really, like, ridiculously specific. Oh, look at that, though. This dam can, like, fill in some trees. It's wild. This river system is a disaster. I love it. Created it for myself. Out of self-loathing or something. So I was gonna try and make fields connect down here, huh? This tile's hideous. Does that mean that I have a really specific place it could go and be perfect? Or is it just hideous? Mostly hideous, I think. I could sort of do this. I think I could do better. Doesn't take much to fill that in. So it's like a question of... maybe sides don't want to match up. Oh, could I do... yeah... can. It's getting a little dicey. Go for that. This should help with this stupid quest. Right here. Okay, does this little bit of lopsided lake... no, it still doesn't do it. What is the shape I need to make this dog happen? The world may never know. Yeah, let's make another, like, bulbous whatever. That seems good. Single field. I need that for something. Oh, I suppose I need that, like, here. I left some space where I can somehow river trees. Oh, it's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be real ugly. It's okay. We finished those trees. So now all the trees can come to here. That's good. Ooh, do I need this horrible T structure to solve my wet problems? I think I do. I think it actually somehow does that specific thing. That's a lot of field. Oh, this field quest is still happening. Where's the other one? This one. Ugh. Don't like the look of that pretty much at all. Oh. Thought that noise was this supposedly showing me more information, but no. There's another tile over here. Sure, I guess we could do this. Oh, and it's a river. One of the only tile types I don't have in anything resembling proximity to what I've started building here. Very good. Good dwarf song. Hey, can I get some Z's in chat for anyone still hanging out? I'm just curious. It's getting late. Zzz. 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 When I was looking at reviews for that Hallmark movie I mentioned earlier, the one that was really bad, one of the reviews was just titled "A Bunch of Z's." And I was like, yeah, that's about right. Honk shoot. Well, unfortunately, these trees don't do anything good at all. And my best bet Well, yeah, I guess I structured this so that I could build forest down to here. I don't think it'd be very good, though. Hmm. Yeah. Does something, I guess. Do I have a place where I need... Yeah, that's kind of something. Yeah, sure. Ooh, blank tile. I've got, like, none of those. Not really. I haven't had a ton of use for them, but I think we've literally seen none since we started. Usually they generate with some frequency. I don't think I've really set up very many places where, like, I'm already gonna get value from the blank tile. There's some place where I could get a good start, but I think the best place is just here. Yeah, that's pretty good. Jeepers. So horrendous. Ah, this lake is just something terrible to behold. Yeah, let's do this. Some fields. Obviously they don't look like they'll play nice with this. Probably a better fit for... Whoa. It changed color real abruptly over there. Sure, I need a lot of fields here. That seems fine. Still need houses here, huh? I kind of forgot about that, to be honest with you. I mean, it's not a perfect fit. Suppose this is fine. Single field looking pretty good here. Single field with a house next to it would be nice. It does something, but it doesn't do something good. Should probably, yeah, this would be good. Because then it's like relatively easy to connect those trees to there. What am I doing with train tiles right now? Probably still working on this, right? Oh, but that looks really nice. But it's not efficient at all. It's like extremely inefficient. Trees just don't go any other place that I want them to go. I mean, I could commit to something like this, but then I need another weird, like, tri-hinge doohickey. Oh, I don't know. None of those seem great. I really just want this. It's not good, though. Ooh. Request. So what if I... Yeah. That fits really well. And then if I connect that to these trees, then we'll be in business. What business? I don't know. Of course, that doesn't line up. That's, you know what, that's pretty good. I want to just close off this area, so I'm making a couple quick moves to do that. Let's see. Field and forest, that's pretty close. Not seeing a lot of places that want that kind of treatment. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, I immediately moved that plane to have a forest go there, so I just have a couple trees there for some reason. That's fine. That's not particularly good. What is that? Not a great use of that tile. Maybe could have gotten a perfect tile out of this basic rail block, but I just don't want to micromanage the map quite so much. So we finished this, so the trees can go... I guess the trees can go here. I can point the houses next to each other and make them touch. It's super weird when you, like, get a deer forest tile, and there's, like, 2 trees on it, so it's just like a big deer wandering through, like, an empty wasteland. Feels like it's some kind of commentary on climate change or something. Guess I'll just use it for the trees. So it's good, but not great. So what's that? Ooh. Ooh. That was very good. Oh, a train. So now that we got a little more space, we can confirm this for sure. We got teal train here. Is this a different biome over here? Yeah, it's like a darker green sort of thing. If we went all the way up here. Yeah, it's like yellow. So yeah, you can like change the color of your boats and trains by just moving them around. Oh, this one's very few trains, huh? Can work with that. Ting ting. We'll find you increasingly more space. Perhaps. This might be too many houses for what's going on over here. Weird field placement with forests. Here's a cool thing about the color change. It does feel like something that I probably should already have known, but I just don't think I gave it too much thought. I have, like, passively observed it and just not properly stored it away for later or whatever. Either way, it's nice. It's nice that, like, once you've been building a little while, you can just sort of be like, you know what? I want this train to be red. Or whatever. Sure, that seems fine. This seems fine. This seems... You guessed it. Fine. Some more trees coming up for the trees quest. It's just too many houses. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. That's something. Now, like, a lot of trees. Building up just that terrible river system. Everyone's going to be very proud. I know there's going to be so much clapping when we're done. I think that's a perfect fit on all those visible edges. Surely this fits into the Bad River ecosystem. And no, it's not going to be part of my lake. Because I've tried this. It's not even close. I guess... Is there space around here? That could be something, maybe. It probably won't, but it could be. 36 water tiles, huh? I feel like you're asking a lot there, buddy. I don't think I'm getting a lot better than this tile. So I'll just place that there. I might rather have this as fields. Maybe. Yeah, that fits there pretty good. Do I have any home for... Oh, I guess maybe I've created a system where I want this. No? Not at all? Yeah, that's understandable. Moo. What's funny is, like, there's non-visible cows, but there's really loud cows you can hear from basically space. Where would I put this? Doesn't really go particularly well anywhere. Ooh, hang on, that's close. It looks bad. Yeah, you know what? This seems fine. Maybe eventually this will connect over to there. Some fields with a little bit of trees in there. Yeah, let's try to build that a straight line out to this. Maybe it'll actually be a field quest. Spoiler alert. Nah. Nah, that won't be true. I think I want... Yeah, this is the thing else. What is this that I'm looking at? There's just some, like, pointy crystals coming out of the ground there. I don't know what that is. I think at some point I needed something with fields like this. Probably already paved over it by now. Is it useful for anything I got going? Oh, it fits there really well. I'll work with that. Alright, running low on tiles. I thought I was doing pretty well. I do like a lot of quests. I do pretty proactively on them too. Sometimes I leave them by the wayside for a long time and well, then you get stuck. Isn't that also forest? Thanks for that. Thank you. Killing me, Gromit. So badly want that nonsense. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks horrible. Yeah. Alright, where's this train station go? Wait, sometimes the castles are, like, wet, right? Sometimes there's, like, drowned castles. Slowly, surely, this is how a life is taken. No, slowly, gently, this is how a life is taken. It's, that's the darkest dungeon, too. This is weirdly tempting. if I thought that this, I mean, I don't really see trees coming up. I kind of do think that's a wet tile. This is kind of a reasonable hedge, because it leaves open the possibility of connecting a river pretty directly to there, but it also just like helps angle this back towards the tracks I built on that side. That's a bit of a mess. Is there something better I can do here? Yeah, I'm low on tiles. I'll do something like this. Don't have any house quests. Do I have anything I can, like, close up? I think I've actually been doing pretty good about that. I'd have to close up the railway, which I don't really want to do at all. This is okay, I guess. Got some trees over here. Ugh, speaking of some trees... I guess I could do this. Better to not. It just like literally doesn't do that. So I need to make like 5. Yeah, that's not. I'm putting in 10 tiles, I don't think. How far off are we on trees? Probably not like super likely to get there, huh? This is pretty close to perfect. This will help with the many trees. Well, if the trees were still touching there, but I guess they're not. Listen, if we look into enough trees, we'll solve like 4 tree quests at one time. I think it's worth doing. Oh, I forgot this one was only a 2. Might have been good to 12. No, I don't think that rail configuration would have gone anywhere over there. Well, I'm definitely going to connect this. Just in case I'm on my way out. I want this to be a continuous nightmare tendril river. Not a lot of trees on the horizon, huh? Am I somehow better off connecting these over here? It's not very many trees. It's 4 trees. It's 4 ones of trees, and that's terrible. I'm gonna risk it for a mid-length game move that may just never come to pass. This that only really has trees to contribute, that definitely can go. Boy, running out of space. Okay. Oh no, it has a river. I can't connect it. Oh no. Is there a possibility of getting a perfect tile with this river? So I can just place like 3 trees over there? That feels like it's asking for a lot. Do just literally need 1 tile. Well, in theory. It's a shame that this tile I have has 3 trees on it. But I've somehow positioned myself so there's only one place to put it, and I ended up with a straight river. This was sadly preventable. Hang on. No, that's not anything. I know. I just need like 3 more trees, man. Is there a way? I feel like there could be. I'll find stuff that like... So this doesn't close anything. This doesn't close anything. This doesn't... It's like really hard to have a river like seal off a tile at all, let alone still have that tile be perfect so that you get 1 tile back for your trouble. Like, that doesn't do it. This is like almost impossible, right? Like, I think I would know if this was possible. Like, I think there'd be a space where you could, like, obviously put the river. It makes this... Gosh, what a shame. It's rough. It's pretty embarrassing. I just feel like I wouldn't have been that hard to do better. We're so close. Because, like, literally, if we add 3 trees over here, we immediately get 20 tiles. And then, if we close it off, which would be relatively easy to do, we would get another 5. So it's like fairly conceivable that with like 2 more tiles, we could get 25 tiles. Well, like 24 if you factor in additional spend. But like, I don't... It's really hard for River to close anything off, and I'm not seeing a spot where that happens. Because in order to, like, get a perfect tile, it basically... You have to place it somewhere where, like... Wait a minute. I mean, it would require ruining Gromit the dog leg. But... Hang on. So this tile... Oh, it's so hard to, like... figure out where the edges are touching. I mean, I think this is the only thing on the map that could do it. I don't want to do it, though. I've worked so hard on it. Wasn't even perfect. No perfect edges. But I don't think there was any other place that a river would have done that. Oh, that sucks. We're so close in a bunch of different ways. I mean, I don't think this was me at the top of my game or anything. I really liked what we had going here. I like all this mess, this horrible river I devised. Really wanted to finish Gromit the dog lake. We're so close with all these forests. And we had like a reasonable number of trees? Trains, rather? It's probably good for me to have run out of tiles. Let's save this because I have no concept of how many save files you get. And go over here. Let's close the game. Well, okay, finally closed. Thought I was gonna crash something like proper bad for real. Well, that was fun. Dorfromantik is always a good time. It's difficult to get it to fit the exact amount of time of a stream, but somehow we've managed to do it pretty well. So we had that going for us. I hope you all have enjoyed this. I was sort of hoping that Dorfromantik would be a good vibe for just not engaging with the chaos, the really grim dark chaos of not playing Dorfromantik or playing a Pokemon game right now. I would encourage all of y'all to uh, not put too much pressure on yourself for a little while until there's the ability to figure out how to navigate whatever comes next. It's daunting, it's upsetting, it's exhausting, like all things. But you are always wanted here, no matter what. And I certainly hope to continue seeing you around. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not streaming tomorrow. Uh, Partially an effort to balance mental health, which is not going especially well, and also just celebrating something of a family tradition. Um, Normally would have managed to do last weekend, but it's a lot of things have just timed out really poorly. So I do intend to be back next Friday and Saturday normally. I will definitely try to have something good to go. I mean, like if you have requests for something that's like a little easier to do or manage or something, then like I'm happy to take those suggestions. Can hit me up over at the Discord. I mean, I keep just hoping that when like Wednesday and Thursday come around, my life isn't on fire, but like it's I don't know, it just keeps timing out where like the times when I'm most likely to be able to spend a little extra time managing stream stuff, like it doesn't happen. Like other important things are going on and life is spiraling. Um but yeah, I mean this has been nice for me. Also, feel free to hit me up on the Discord if you want to be friends in Pokemon TCG Live. Katina and I are officially friends there. I sent my sister a request and I forgot to check if she actually accepted it today. I mentioned to her that I had suggested Katina try the app again because he had used to be a big fan of it before they made a big change and both of us had stopped playing for a little while. And she was like, "Why aren't we friends?" And I was like, "I don't actually know your screen name, even though you've streamed it." Because, like, it doesn't, like, prominently display your own name, which kind of makes sense. Yeah, no pressure. There were a couple folks in chat earlier who were, like, talking about having familiarity with it. And it's like, yeah, if you want to be friends, I can show you my stupid deck that I'm trying to make counter Charizards, and it's kind of working. In fairness, I think most of the Charizard decks I've been matched against recently are kind of like budget builds that don't have all the cards. But I'm definitely enjoying people vainly trying to fling their Dusk Noirs at my Mimikyu, and then just the really uncomfortable long pause afterwards as they're trying to figure out which card they've never seen before is making that happen. Um, yeah. That's probably going to do it for the streams. You certainly don't think I'm starting a new Dorfromantik because that'll be like another probably like 3 hours if I don't screw up when I could easily get like 25 tiles. But before I leave it for the weekend, and again, we'll try to pick things up normally soon. I mean, it's going to be a little bit in and out through the rest of the year just with holidays and stuff. But yeah, I'm going to try and get as much in before the end of the year. Somewhere in the room behind me are hidden some Squirtles. You can see some friends, and in and around and behind some of them, you may find Squirtles. Of course, it is known that to locate a secret Squirtle is an omen of good luck for you in the coming days, so it may be worth your while to look around and consider where Squirtles may be hiding. Yeah, the Sandshrew sort of got shifted at some point. There's clearly a Squirtle there. I mean, there just is a Squirtle there. Not really concerned about it. Bear, Carlos, Anger Squid. These are all good guesses, and I will do my best to check any guesses that come in late as well. Coughing, also great guess. So start here because I don't have to get up. Anger Squid, uncharacteristically, not concealing anything, but I think you can already see that there's a Squirtle there. Thought that one was probably a little bit obvious, a little more intentional than Sandshrew. I just didn't pay super close attention when getting set up today. Uh, Behind our bear. Well, I wouldn't say behind our bear, but I would say that if we look under where our bear was, if we look under bear, there could be considered a very large Squirtle, like a really big Squirtle in the bear region. Awesome Carlos, sort of a mascot of the channel. He's spending some Squirtle time. And coughing. Saw a guess of coughing. Now coughing, of course. Coughing wearing Neko's tiny pirate hat. I like this coughing very much. I haven't given him a good camera show off in a minute. Coughing, also Squirtle. Perhaps you can understand why I'm not so bothered that perhaps the Squirtle behind Sandshrew is a little bit visible. Because I pretty much orchestrated it so that there were no wrong guesses. There's I took all the Squirtles out of containment. They're everywhere. Head for the hills. It's a really good coughing, right? I mean, this like literally, there's this like candy store in Burbank, California, near where I used to live, that I found like pretty close to when I moved away. And like I went in there to look at their full collection. Like the first thing I saw from the street was Squirtlezilla. And I was like, oh, he's a big boy. And then when I went in to take a closer look, they had like a pretty good selection of them. And when I got Sandshrew, I was excited about it because like way back in the day, Sandshrew was like one of my absolute favorites. He's really cute. I like him. And they don't make very many Sandshrews because he's not super popular, so I got that. But like I saw the coughing, and I just like literally couldn't stop thinking about him. And so like 2 days later, I went back and bought the coughing. It's like I need this one. Hi, and by Ice Bunny. Yes. Fortunately, ended up we were playing some Dorfromantik before, and I was planning on playing a little bit longer, perhaps, but I made a mistake right as I was running out of tiles, and I ran out of game. I don't think I could start a new one. And earlier, I had a pretty full and thorough rant about my personal experiences with the week, not so much all of my frustrations with the week, which are myriad and intense. But I do hope that all of you, like I said, don't try not to put too much pressure on yourselves to have all the answers or to feel a certain way. Feel your emotions, manage them the best you can. Take care of yourselves. Be kind. And thanks for being here. Thanks for being you. And I hope to see you again soon. Like I said, tomorrow I am off again, and I'm sorry for doing that back-to-back weeks. Things are just a little bit intense today, in particular, really wore me down. But we hopefully will be back on track with something a little more regular coming up soon, and we'll make our time best we can for the rest of the year. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. And remember that you are Claus.